and welcome. Happy Halloween, everybody. I hope everybody has been enjoying their Halloween weekend. I'm excited. I'm happy to be here. I hope everybody else is happy to be here. I think my mic is a little bit low. Let me turn that nonsense up. And then check. That's a little bit better. Welcome. Hi. How y'all doing? Let me bring chat over here for you. Hi. There we go. Now you should be able to hear me pretty good. Welcome, everybody. Happy Halloween. You could use a Snickers. I mean, it's Halloween. Go get one. What are you waiting for? Welcome. This is my Halloween costume. I hope you enjoy it. Special thanks to Honest Red for getting me like the little... Look at the little bell. Isn't that cute? I don't know, let everybody kind of come in and let things settle. Let everybody settle. Get your drinks. I hope. I should have the glasses off. There we go. Happy Halloween. Hope everybody's got their drinks. I went a little bit skelly. But I didn't go full skelly. If I went full skelly, I'd be very much more pale. So I'll tell you guys really quick how I did this. This is all powder and foundation makeup. There is nothing like terribly intense one way or the other. I just used like a regular standard brown palette, and then I had a little bit of like just foundation. Welcome. And I put the foundation on my lips. That's how I got it done. So welcome, happy Halloween. I really thank you for coming. Since it is Halloween, everybody could be doing other things and be having a better day. I've got a lovely candle, so we've got that little flicker going on. We're spooky. We're spooky today. I hope everybody's gotten lots of candy. If you don't actually die and rot, it's cheating. Yeah, fair. Thank you. I'm glad everybody is enjoying. I'm glad everybody's having a good weekend. I'm just letting everybody settle in before we get started here because it is Halloween and I want everybody to be able to enjoy a little bit of Halloween. Everybody gets to be a little bit spooky. This isn't makeup. I got mugged. Oof. Oof. Yeah, spooky ghosts. Spooky ghosts in the chat. Happy Halloween, everybody. Your kid refused to go trick-or-treating because it's cold? Do a warm costume. It's okay. No, you haven't missed anything. We haven't started yet. We're just relaxing, letting everybody get in here, letting everybody settle in. I've noticed that I get people coming in a little bit, my intro isn't quite long enough to let everybody sort of get in here. So I'm kind of giving an extra couple minutes and enjoying the Halloween spooky spirit of things. The only thing I really wish I had is I wish I had a pumpkin mug. Having a I mean, this is pretty good. This is pretty good for Halloween. But if I had a pumpkin mug, that'd be on point. And don't worry, we haven't gotten too started yet. Good. Good. Yeah, spookies. All right. So, Steve's lawsuit has not been released yet. So we're not going to go out over that today, but we are going to look a little bit at what he's said recently. However, in the interim, Katie Joy is a lovely and kind enough person to give us content anyway, because of course there's more content anyway. Why wouldn't there be more content? I should be wearing one of my mustaches. That's okay, next time. I did give a hint about what I was going to be doing for Halloween when I painted the goblin, the Halloween goblin, which is the skull makeup. Firefly is 100% correct. Yes, content for days. There's just never-ending content of the absolute nonsense. Interim, yes. Did I say the word wrong? I probably did. So, Katie Joy got in some beef with KEEMSTAR, because of course she did. Now, we've talked about KEEMSTAR before. I don't know if we've talked about him too much on this channel, but I've certainly been in conversation on other channels to talk about kind of some problematic things when in relation to sort of KEEMSTAR's behavior and what works, what doesn't, what is problematic, what isn't problematic. So we're certainly equal opportunists when it comes to looking at what we might think is nonsense and why. And a lot of the times we're open. We're open-ended as to, like, you know what, this isn't as nonsense as maybe some people think it is. I did recently see KEEMSTAR talking about how he was going to go into politics, and it kind of gives you a little bit of a window into when you're a large YouTuber, when you're maybe a little bit counterculture, how other outlets are going to take advantage of you, whatever your political stance is. And there's a degree of that that I can empathize with. Not because I'm a big YouTuber, certainly not the case, and not because I think that I fit that mold, but certainly because I can understand not wanting to be put in a mold that you don't fit in forcibly by other people trying to take advantage of you. And that is something that happens to people, almost everybody. Almost everybody is sort of kind of forced into that box. And so I can, whether I agree with KEEMSTAR politically or not, and whether I agree with, or I think maybe he's being like on purpose inflammatory, which I've seen. The only reason that's being purposefully inflammatory to a degree is only really problematic because there are people being inflamed, if you know what I mean. Like, if you stop and listen, is it really as bad as it appears to be? And in some cases it is, and in some cases it's not. And that's part of being part of cancel culture, or not cancel culture, counterculture. And KEEMSTAR certainly got a degree of countercultural, it kind of wrapped up in his brand, I guess. So, thank you, Letty. That is a lovely compliment. I appreciate that. I was going for a little bit of that kind of look. So, let's take a look at the sort of beef now going on between KEEMSTAR and Katie Joy, because of course she gets in beef with everybody, whether she agrees with them politically or not, whether she agrees with them about, this woman will get in beef with anybody, period. Like, it's almost as if she's looking for it, right? So let's take a look. Let's take a look and see what KEEMSTAR is saying, right? Let's take a look-see.
A crystal ball. Yesterday, it came out that Toddy Westbrook is suing you. And you were doing a live stream, and I jumped in your live stream, and I gave you my support. I left a comment and said,
Wait. Sorry, hold up. This is from 2020 on November 1st. Almost exactly a year ago. How wonderful. That's right. This is not the first time, for those of you who remember, that Katie Joy had gotten into it with KEEMSTAR. Back when Toddy Westbrook decided she was going to serve Katie Joy, KEEMSTAR jumped in. But, you know, I figured I'd bring this little nugget back. This is not the first time this shit's fucking gone down. Let's hear what he has to say anyway. Let's see if there's been any changes from 2020.
Without a crystal ball. Yesterday, it came out that Toddy Westbrook is suing you. And you were doing a live stream, and I jumped in your live stream, and I gave you my support. I left a comment and said, I'm giving you support. Today, I'm going to have to take that support back. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to retract those statements. Can't support you, and this is why.
That is something I can appreciate. I can appreciate giving somebody the benefit of the doubt and saying, hey, listen, YouTubers shouldn't be suing each other. That's kind of garbage. That shouldn't be happening, and it sucks that's happening. And then when provided with a little bit more information to be like, maybe you deserve to be sued. Maybe you're breaking some rules, and it's appropriate that you're being sued. Maybe. Maybe.
When I gave you support, it was basically because I was sued, right? This other YouTuber, Romeo Lacrosse, he sued me because he didn't like me reporting some facts. And I thought this was a similar situation. But come to find out, allegedly, a lot of people saying that you were kind of like stalking Toddy Westbrook, allegedly. And then come to find
for anybody who has watched my TLDR from 2019 about Katie Joy, I believe it actually might have come out very, very early in 2020 because I waited for Dumb Fuck of the Year to be over because I didn't actually want to win. Things got contentious and I was just like, wow, people are taking this a little bit too seriously, so I don't actually want to win anymore. That's no fun. So I believe she came in third or fourth place. But during that TLDR, which again came out after the fact, Katie had said that she had received 4 cease and desists from Toddy Westbrook at that time. And that Toddy, in making accusations, that Toddy had threatened her because in an unrelated post completely, there was a squirt gun and a crystal ball in the same tweet, and she was calling that a threat. So, I mean, take that however you will. EMP for 2 said November 1st is also my birthday, so congratulations. Happy birthday, a day early. So I hope you have a good birthday. I hope everybody is having a very wonderful, spooky Halloween.
Now, you were threatening to sue other YouTubers because you didn't like what they were saying about you. And then I found out today that you actually sued another YouTuber because you didn't like what they said. Allegedly. Again, I don't know if any of this is true. This is just what I've been seeing and watching all these videos.
When was it that Katie filed that TRO on Steve? Because she didn't like that a YouTuber was critical of her? Because we went over that that NDA agreement as well as the affidavit that was presented. If you haven't watched that, I definitely recommend checking that out because we took a look and we noticed, one of the things that we noticed was that what was in the affidavit is not what was the center point and to a degree not even mentioned in the NDA. I'm
trying to figure everything out, right? So I can't really support you. And on top of that, my lawyer told me that the case that Toddy has against you is a strong case. And Toddy's claiming that you lied about her. So I don't know if she has got a strong case. I don't know. It's not looking good. Also, a lot of people are saying that you were stalking Toddy. Now, I don't know how true this is going to get, again, alleged. It's not what I'm saying. This is what other.
There is certainly a list. For anybody who is interested in that case and what had gone on with it, you can. I covered some of it. I didn't end up being able to cover all of it because I lost track of the dockets of what they ended up settling on because it kind of all got settled outside of court. So obviously I don't have access to that information. But if you're curious, there's certainly a little bit of public digging you can do. Public digging. Don't go private. Public digging.
People are saying, don't sue me, bro. But a lot of people are saying that you're stalking Toddy. Like, it became to the point where, like, it was creepy. And another thing, which is kind of messed up, is there's this
Creepy is appropriate for Halloween.
other YouTuber, Creep Show, Shannon. I like Shannon. I think she makes great content. And someone told me that you were actually stalking her, too. Like, tweeting out tweets about her and then waiting to...
Depending on who you ask, that was me, not Katie. It definitely was not me.
hours, and then she didn't respond, so you delete them, and this went on for months. Like, this is all alleged. I don't know if it happened. I didn't see with my own eyes. This is just what someone told me. So, yeah, you know that support I gave you yesterday? I gotta take it back. I'm sorry. You can't have that support anymore. I'm taking it back.
So that was November 1st, 2020. Oh boy. Oh boy. At least KEEMSTAR in this video is being very clear that he's like, this is just what I've been told. I'm not gonna make a claim, but from what I've been told, I'm gonna have to just rescind my support, which is a personal boundary. You can't complain about that. KEEMSTAR choosing not to support Katie Joy is certainly not defamation or an attack of any kind. Hey, Comic Nut, how you doing? Long time, man. I hope you're doing good. I hope you have a very spooktacular Halloween. All right. Oh, hey, Steve McRae was hit with a TRO. She dropped it as soon as it looked like he was going to go to court. She was also involved in accusing him of medical fraud when her friend tried to abscond with a YouTube channel and $60,000. Her friend Kyle is now facing prison time over it. That's me. And Lucas Claire. Thanks for taking the time to review all the information. This is not just a simple freedom of speech case. I hope this encourages other deep divers, or others to dive deeper. Sorry, Claire, I slaughtered your tweet. Even it's Halloween is appropriate. Even read the complaint details before throwing their support to Without a Crystal Balls. Motherfunk, the Shade, Katie's a liar. Real reason why Keem isn't supporting her. Oh, maybe. Hi, Kino. I don't know. Oh, okay, I really don't have an interest in being part of any drama between creators. Yeah, that certainly falls in line with Katie, right? I'm sorry you've had run-ins. I'm doing my best to move forward and make great content. A for effort. This platform is very cutthroat. My best advice is to stay away from exposing others in the same world. Stay focused on you. Huh. Huh. Interesting advice. Oh, look at that. What an interesting little mini scroll. Oh, deleted by the author. Show reply. Show suspended account. Who are they talking to? Can we find out? Oh, Without a Crystal Ball deleting her own stuff. We've never seen her do that before. Alright, well, that was a little bit of a... That was my little trick-or-treat present to you. That was the treat. Just to give you guys, again, remember this happened? This is a thing that's already gone on. KEEMSTAR's been aware of Katie for over a year. Or about a year. Almost exactly a year, actually. Interesting. So let's take a look at what he's saying that's a little bit more recent. Shall we?
Without a Crystal Ball, Katie Joy is very upset because I pointed out that she stalks and harasses and doxes fucking YouTubers. And not just the YouTubers, but all the family members around them, anyone around them. In fact, she got sued for doing similar stuff to Toddy Westbrook. I pointed that out. She is not happy. Also, I pointed out that she exploits the murders of, victims on her channel. You know, she's covering this Gabby stuff like not.
Well, that's actually something we've covered here, is how much Katie actually has been trying to cover Gabby. But there's a very big difference between this time. Oh, I rolled over my own little thingy here. Hold on, I'm stuck. There's a pretty big tonal difference, if you've noticed, between last year and this year. Tonally, last year, he was like, you know, I just heard I'm going to have to rescind my support of you. I'm going to have to take that back. I don't know if this is a good thing. Like, I don't have all the information, but from what I've heard, at very least, I'm going to have to rescind my support. This year, he's like, hey, you stalk people. Interesting.
Victims on her channel. You know, she's covering this Gabby stuff like nonstop, just exploiting this poor girl and the tragedy that took place to her and other people on her channel. But I also pointed out that I told her to go drive drunk again, loser. Ugh. Something
that I do get a little bit of a kick out of Keem is he knows. He knows when he says stuff that's like, maybe crossing a line or walking a line. And I respect that more than I respect somebody who doesn't know that they're crossing a line or never believes that they've never touched on or crossed a line or they don't know that they're walking that line. I have a more, at least you know what you're doing. At least you've made an informed decision. You've made a conscious effort to decide to walk that line and accept the consequences that go with that. Like, he's even here, like, maybe that was a little too far. At least he understands this. There are people that cross lines on a regular basis. Katie Joy is actually a pretty good example. You're crossing these lines, and you won't even admit that there's a line that exists. And that's a problem. That's a whole different kind of problem.
from her past, that really set her off. So Katie Joy did exactly what Katie Joy does.
Sneezing in that bitch's direction sets her off.
She started digging in. She started stalking and harassing to get as much information as she possibly fucking could. And she put out a tweet last night saying, hey, KEEMSTAR, before you bring up someone's past, maybe you should clean your own house. And maybe you should pay your $260,000 that you owe to the IRS, with a fucking screenshot that I owe $260,000 to the IRS from the...
Oh shit, that's a lot of money, man. That's a big accusation. I really hope Katie can back up that accusation with that screenshot she posted.
Years 2013 to 2018. What a gotcha moment. She got me. But did she? Because if she would have showed more of the screenshot...
But did she, though? Blah, blah, blah. They're like, oh, she got me. However... I do get a bit... Okay, I don't watch. This isn't my kind of content. But I gotta admit, when it's right and when it's on point, this is funny. This is pretty funny. Okay, But did she? Blah, blah, blah.
She would have revealed that is paid. It's been paid. Look, people, my taxes are fucking complicated, all right? I have multiple different fucking money sources coming in. I have 2 accounting firms that have to deal with all this and handle all this. And what I was just told, because I had to verify everything before I came public to say anything, right? When my lawyers and my accountants just got off the phone with them, I don't owe any money to the IRS, any back money to the IRS. Obviously, you owe this year and fucking shit that's coming up, but I don't owe this bill that she's talking about. I don't owe anything, all right? What happened is my accountants, had a money source.
At this point, I would probably say that you check with your lawyers, you check with your accountant, and you don't own any money. You don't need to go into the details. This is a burden of proof shift. If she's going to make the claim, and you're going to say, actually, no, I don't. I checked with my lawyers and my accountant. I don't know shit. That's now shifts back to her. She's now the one who has the burden of proof there. Now, it was kind and additional, I guess, of KEEMSTAR to go ahead and just throw all that right under the bus by addressing any question that anybody could have had when it came to things like evidence And what if you wanted to ask him about it, he gave out far more information than he ever needed to, because at this point everybody should be turning their heads right back to Katie to be like, well, can you show this? And this is the same kind of thing with the Todd Chrisley lawsuit that you're seeing. She made claims about him and his taxes. She also made claims about him and his daughter. And he's saying, absolutely not. And the heads swing, and she's like, I have this source. And he's like, no, you fucking don't. And the head swing turns. It should not be on Todd Chrisley to show this. The burden of proof goes right onto her, particularly in court. Right? And so it's the same thing with Steve and Steve's lawsuit. Katie's like, this, that, and the other thing. And Steve's like, absolutely fucking not. And the head turns. It's back to Katie to say, can you show? Do you prove your accusations, particularly in a court of law at this point? And can she do that? Meanwhile, Steve's going a step further and spoiling everybody, because that man doesn't know how to build a narrative up and build suspense worth of crap. Love you, Steve. So we already know. We already know she doesn't. Spoiler alert. The answer is now we just get to watch Katie struggle on the hook that she's fucking locked herself onto to say, well, how is she going to try to get out of this? And so far the answer has been, well, to file a countersuit to try and run Steve out of money, from my observation. That might not be the only plan. That might not be her actual plan, but it's certainly a legal strategy that it appears that she's employing. I don't know. But let's see. I think Keem's going to give us a little bit more information than that we didn't actually need, because remember, somebody's going to make the claim. It's going to be on them to prove it.
What happened is my accountants, had a money source that was owed from 2013 to 2018. They're negotiating with the IRS, trying to do a payment bill. I don't know. My accountants look out for my best interest. I don't know why they want to do that, but they did. And the IRS said, no, pay it in full, put a fucking lien on it. Once we found out about the lien, we paid the thing in full. So, this is just more spin, more bullshit from Katie Joy. Go fuck yourself. Without a...
Far more aggressive than last year, so there's that. It seemed like he was quite nice to her and didn't very much publicly distance himself after he publicly supported her. Discretions that happen publicly need to be dealt with publicly. He can't just do it in private. If he does it in private, the public won't know. So the public then has to just go off this half information, which is the only information you gave them. And yes, taxes are complicated, especially the more money you have, and as you start working in things like entertainment and things that are a little bit newer, I guess. Like YouTube is still relatively new when it comes to legal shit, and so yeah, it makes sense. And then of course he's got a screenshot here, right? He's got a screenshot. Lien released 2021. This is paid off. So not only does he shift the burden of proof back to her, she doesn't even get to hit the ball back. He just spiked that shit right down and out. Clear point. I don't know how much better you can get than that. I decided to respond to this with a little bit of sass. And I'll show you my response real quick before we move on to the next clip of KEEMSTAR to see what he has to say about Katie. Oh, taking screenshots and conveniently leaving out important information. I wonder where she learned that from.
The one bad thing about being first in law enforcement, then becoming an ADA, is that I wasn't like all the other new ADAs that are coming out of school. Right. Because I had and now most of the people who are making the arrests, bringing suspects to us, I knew those guys. So I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, you got another one? What's up? And then I knew all the BS too. I'm like, come on. You didn't find that thing in that guy's pocket. Why you bullshitting me? You know what I'm saying? Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what? I was doing all that shit too. Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what? I was doing all that shit too.
Huh. I think that just stands on its own. But there's one more little bit that Katie decided, well, that KEEMSTAR decided to respond on. So let's take a look real quick, because Katie responded to this with, surprise, surprise, accusations.
Dear Katie Joy, it's recently come to my attention that you did a live stream yesterday saying that I don't pay my taxes and that I'm an arsonist. All right? I'm an arsonist.
An arsonist? She's accusing him of being an arsonist now. Bold accusation. Already shown how the tax shit she presented is bullshit. So shall we take a look-see and learn about how this arson accusation may or may not be bullshit? Take a look-see.
I'm just burning down buildings, all right? In both scenarios, you again are leaving out key information. As far as
What? What? Katie Joy leaving out key information as per the witness? No. No. No, we've never seen that before. Nah. That couldn't possibly be the case. I was in a room with Steve when he sexually harassed me. You mean a Zoom call? A Zoom room? VMix room? Not an in-person room? That surely doesn't sound like missing key information. On purpose.
the taxes go, I already proved it yesterday in a Twitter video. It's been paid, but you conveniently left that out. That's like me saying, without a crystal ball owes taxes. She owes taxes. She owes the IRS money. Now, it could have been paid, but I'm not going to tell you that she paid it. I'm just going to...
If you're in America, everybody owes the IRS taxes at some point, period. Like, yeah, no shit. That's how taxes work. It's such a nothing thing to have said. It's such a nothing broad that you could say about literally everybody. So, you know, take that for what you will.
to say that she owed it. Like, you're doing that to manipulate people. The other thing you're doing to manipulate people is telling everyone, oh, he's been arrested for arson.
Surely somebody who touts themselves as a journalist would not leave out key information to manipulate people. Surely. No, that, no. Of course not. That couldn't be the case. Surely not. Surely not. She wouldn't need to do something like that to have any kind of clout. Would she? She certainly doesn't run with the kind of people who would do something like that. Does she?
DA is that I wasn't like all the other new ADAs that are coming out of school.
Right.
Because I had all, and now most of the people who are making the arrests, bringing suspects to us, I knew those guys. So I'm like, oh my God, yeah, you got another one? What's up? And then I knew all the BS too. I'm like, come on, you didn't find that thing in that guy pocket. Why you bullshitting me? You know what I'm saying? Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what, I was doing all that shit too. The one.
Surely she doesn't run with people that would do something like that. She hasn't been involved with people that would do stuff like that. Surely not. But let's hear about this arson. I'm curious about this claim about arson. What's the story behind this? Because arson sounds like a really big deal. Sounds like a really big deal. Sounds really important. So let's take a look.
He's arrested for arson. He was charged with arson. Okay. All right. Tell the full story. All right. I was drunk at a fishing derby. Me and my friends were throwing firecrackers in the bathroom, fucking wasted, and they charged us with some fucking arson. By the way, which is completely wiped off my record. It's not on my record anymore. It's not my record at all.
So, a crime was committed. it was dealt with. It was unlike her buddy Kyle, unlike her friend Kyle's crime that has been dealt with, and unlike the potential of the clip we watched previous of her other friend, that, you know, they have an on and off relationship. There was a resolved issue that was that Katie may be inflating. Would inflating be the word that would work with that? Surely a journalist with integrity wouldn't need to inflate a story to make it interesting, especially since we looked at that screenshot of her saying that YouTubers shouldn't go after each other and you should stay in your own fucking lane.
All you could find is some old article when it happened. But instead of just saying KEEMSTAR blew off fireworks in a park building. By the way, I did community service. Dude, I mowed the shit out of that park. I used the weed whacker and shit. That park never looked as good as it did when I was landscaping it for community service. I just want to put that out there.
I think that's kind of funny. Like, hey, listen, if you're gonna be forced to do something, do it fucking well, right? Like, I can agree with that. If you're gonna be stuck doing a thing, at least do a good job doing it. You know what I mean? If you're gonna spend 24 hours a day trolling somebody, at least be good at it. You know what I mean? You're spending so much time. You think practice would make you better at it, right? So, like, you know, have some class. Do a good job.
But why, Katie, are you leaving out the fact that it's fireworks in a park fucking bathroom? By the way, the park bathroom wasn't made out of wood. It was made out...
Quite frankly, I think that makes this story better. This is not an uncommon story from what I know of young men getting drunk while fishing. I mean, I don't know if that's a Canada thing, but getting drunk while fishing is actually fairly common, and young men with firecrackers, especially since the rules in Canada about firecrackers are different than the rules in America about firecrackers, which is really why firework shows in America are just better, and why Canadians try to get American firecrackers when they want to put on a fireworks show.
Out of fucking bricks. Nothing got burnt down. The cops were just pissed off that we were disrespecting their park bathroom, and they hit me with like the biggest thing they could give me, which was arson. And by the way, it wasn't like felony arson. It was a misdemeanor.
So yeah, there are different kinds of arson. So if you look up the laws around arson, again, that's going to depend on what state you're in, what country you're in. It's going to be different. But in Keem's case, yeah, it's a misdemeanor. So when she says, oh, he was arrested for arson, people are like, wait, the fuck? He burnt a building down? He lit a building on fire? What the fuck? That could kill people. There's a manipulation of like what your brain goes to when you talk about something like arson. It's the same thing as hearing the word manslaughter. Manslaughter is accidental. Murder is purposeful. Misdemeanor arson, setting off firecrackers in maybe a hazardous way, versus arson felony, I lit a Walmart on fire. And when you leave that key information out on purpose, the same way you left out he owes a bunch of money to the IRS that he already paid, especially when you don't actually have all of the information. Well, you know, we'll get to that. We'll get to a little bit more into that. Let's hear the last of what he has to say.
And it's not even on my fucking record. It doesn't exist. All right. It was wiped off my record. The judge said, okay, he did the community service, gone. It's not on my record. Go fuck yourself, Katie Joy. Quit lying to people. Quit telling half-truths. And stop drinking, you fucking drunk.
I don't like being judgy about people's alcohol consumption. I like to drink. I have a good time. However, there is a time and a place, And it's generally not a good idea to be drunk while you're stressed out on stream. We've seen how that can blow up. I definitely recommend checking out our video about Team Skeptic, for example, and how much Katie Joy tends to do this sort of thing and then have to delete it later because she said something she probably should not have said, especially if she had consulted with her lawyer ahead of time. Particularly if you're talking about the Todd Chrisley case where she accused him of harassing her via service to get to his daughter, which does not seem to be the case, which just goes to another point of defamation in his favor from my interpretation. But let's take a look. Because she got this information. How did she get this information, and did she use it appropriately? Well, Steve. Thanks, Steve, for doing a little bit of work for us. Apparently, the site that was used to obtain tax information against KEEMSTAR has a strict policy against using it to harass or try to cause harm, and may have broken the law by making such information public. He doesn't owe shit, and her lying ass broke the law doing it. This what she had to legally sign and agree to when she pulled that info from that site. Let's take a look. Can you guys see everything? Yes, you can. Beautiful, beautiful. The spice. Somebody put Tabasco sauce in my tea today as a trick for Halloween. Use the site. It's assorted services or content, including but not limited to people looker checks, A, in violation of any applicable foreign or domestic laws, statute, rules, regulations, or judicial decrees, B, in a manner that does or is intended to cause emotional or physical harm, to discriminate against, doxing of any kind, stalking, or otherwise acting to harass, mass market, robo-dial, or spam any other person. And please be advised that phone numbers and addresses provided on search subjects may be protected and restricted via do not call, subscribe, or other telemarketing activities, registries, contact restrictions, for example, pursuant to yada, yada, yada. So this is a conversation and a topic that came up the other day. Is what Katie Joy did doxing? If the information was not public information, and as per the site's rules that she got it from, is not supposed to be used to be made public, and doing so would be considered doxing as a public release of information that is not meant to be released, then yes, she went and got a hold of somebody's private information that she got through, though maybe legitimate means, was never supposed to be something that, as per the site's terms and conditions, was ever supposed to be released. And part of doxing is that release part of information. So, if these terms and services stand, and this is accurate, then it is very likely that yes, in the definition, Katie Joy doxed KEEMSTAR's information. If this holds true and is accurate. Above and beyond each of the, and of course it's also separately against terms of service, because you're not supposed to be using this in a manner that does or is intended to cause emotional or physical harm, which was clearly Katie's intention. Her release of his information was not a story being broken. There was no information there because she specifically left information that's completely 100% legitimate information. The second half of that screenshot that we looked at, the one that showed, hey, no, this one right here, he paid it. She had to crop this part out to purposefully release information to make it seem like something it was not, in a malicious manner, which is against this terms of service. Then, above and beyond each of the foregoing, any unauthorized use or attempted use of this site may result in criminal and civil prosecution, including without limitation punishment under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act of 1986. We must reserve the unqualified right to view, monitor, and record activity on the site as needed without any notice or permission from you. Any information obtained thereby remains subject to review by law enforcement organizations in our sole discretion. We also comply with all legally binding requests for such information, including without limitation the prevention of information pursuant to a court order subpoena. In addition, this jumps to the next thing, they cut that part, distribute, transmit in any way to any other computer, website, or other medium or end user, or otherwise provide any of our services or other material posted or made available by or through the site, including, but not limited to, content and the result of people lurker checks in any way to any third party. Twitter would be a third party. Anybody who saw what Katie posted would be considered a third party, maybe a fourth party. For the avoidance of doubt, you agree that you will strictly treat all such material as confidential information and take all reasonable steps to ensure that such material is stored in a secure manner. You agree that you will strictly treat all such material as confidential. You mean you can share information without it being doxing? Yes, because it was confidential, and the person who released it is the one who takes responsibility, not the one who shared it in confidence. If it's considered confidential communication, then it is not on the person who shared it confidentially. It was not released. What Katie did was release something to the public that was supposed to be treated as confidential. Which means it is not readily available to the public, which is private information that is meant to be kept private and confidential. Shocking. Whoops. Holy shit. Which means that according to this site, not only could the site decide to go after Katie, but Todd, Steve, and KEEMSTAR are all in a position to absolutely ream this bitch. She has screwed herself so fucking badly if anyone ever decides to take this up. She does not have a leg to stand on. The people that we see defending Katie is bizarre to me, and the people who we've watched defend her for a long period of time. There's a select group of people that support Katie that I am more sympathetic towards, and it's people who have found her recently. It's people who have found her recently who don't know. They have not interacted with her enough to have seen what's gone on because they have tertiarily come across her content and they're like, oh, hey, this is kind of cool. And they only tertiarily watch bits and pieces. But for anybody who follows her, anybody who does like membership, super chatting, goes out of their way to defend her, people like, Trigglypuff and his followers, people like Nate the lawyer, who fucking defend her when they get the opportunity to do so. They ride that fence. They have that on and off relationship. People like Zag, yes, exactly. The egregious just disregard. We saw this actually in Todd Chrisley's lawsuit. If you happen to follow us for Todd Chrisley's lawsuit and read through, joined us when we read through that. Todd Chrisley's lawsuit said she released information and made claims about him with disregard to whether it was true or not. her willful disregard to the terms of service and the putting out of people's private information. We've seen her dig up dirt on people before. She tried to dox me. She tried to bring up a failed doxing attempt against me. She tried. It didn't work because I couldn't be doxed anymore at that point, for one, and for two, I never really hid myself very well at all about what my name actually is. That's not something that it's literally in my tag already. My name is Victoria. That shouldn't be a surprise. It may come back for non sequitur. I don't know. Let's see what happens. But it was an attempt to encourage people to find more information on me by putting out incorrect information about who I was as a person. There's no benefit to her to calling me Victoria because nobody fucking knows my name. Everybody calls me Chesh. So if you're trying to find me, or you're trying to talk about me, calling me Victoria is not going to be beneficial to you because people aren't going to know who you're talking about. So it doesn't make any sense. So the only reason you're using this is to try and get more people to utilize my name or find information based on it. Obviously, it's clearly malicious. This is not a question. Of course that's the case. Now all of that is, of course, I'm not going to do anything about it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. You can call me that all day and all night. It's not a problem. It's really not an issue. For me. But that's not the case for everybody. Right? Not everybody is in the position I am in to be able to do the thing that I do. And for some people, that's dangerous. For some people, it is very, very not okay to be releasing information about who they are and what they're doing. Especially when you don't know who they are, what they're doing. Otangelo is a very good example. Otangelo, who has come by this channel and has been in other channels when it comes to like the young earth creationist type stuff, that went out of his way to release what would be considered private information about Dapper Dino. He tried to claim he had information that he didn't have, and then claimed that which was that he knew what Dapper Dino's religious affiliation was, and said what he presented that he knew that Dapper's religious affiliation is. Releasing somebody's private information is dangerous for that person. He doesn't know where Dapper Dino lives. He doesn't know whether or not releasing that information is incredibly detrimental to his family. He could be Muslim living with a Christian family. Releasing that information is dangerous. You don't out somebody as gay. You don't force somebody to publicly use different gender identifiers. And the reason you don't do that is because you don't know their situation. You don't know if it's okay and safe for them to do so. You do not out other people no matter what it is. You don't do that shit. Don't do it. Don't dox people. Don't put out people's fucking private information. Holy shit. This used to be such a like regular standard on the internet that anybody who doxed somebody else or put somebody else's private information out, they would get just destroyed. The internet was so not okay with that. It was so not okay with that you would be shunned in your entirety once upon a time. Clearly that's no longer the case. Mostly because sites like, in my opinion at least, sites like Twitter, sites like Facebook, sites like YouTube have become very vanilla, meaning that everybody uses them. And when you have such a large quantity of people utilizing these sites, the quality of what is and is not part of the rules changes, right? Because some people are going to be totally okay with that. Some people think it's totally fine that Katie put this information out. But who are these people and why do you think that's okay? Like, why? Why do you think this is okay? This is something that I've asked Otangelo multiple fucking times. Why? What is your reasoning that you thought it was okay to put this information out? Why did you think that was okay? Katie, why did you think it was okay for you to release this? Why did you think you would get away with it? Why did you think this was a good thing, positive thing to do? What is your justification? What is your reasoning for this? Why? Why would you do that? What are you thinking? Don't threaten to put people's information out. Team. Don't fucking do that. What the fuck? Don't do this shit. This is not okay. What if Katie was right? Let's go down the hypothetical. I'll get to Kwasa first. Kwasa for 10, isn't that a Spice Girl's name? Spice? Scary Spice? All right, let's go down this, a Christian in a Sharia law ran country. Yeah, exactly. Let's go down the hypothetical. All right, let's take a trip into Wonderland, where for some reason Katie Joy was correct, and Keemstar did owe money to the IRS, right? So she paints him in a bad light. He looks like he's a rich guy who owes a shitload of taxes, and he loses subscribers over it. She damages him permanently over it. But she doesn't know the situation and why or what was going on with those taxes. Meaning that there could be a very valid reason, like an error. Like, that may be of no fault of his own. His accountant could have made an error. But he looks like a garbage person who's just dodging his taxes. But that's not what he's doing. There was an error being made, and he was rectifying the error, and he was taking time to pay it off instead of paying it off in a lump sum. Maybe that's the case. Maybe there was a situation in his family where he ended up having to take out a large loan, and he's working to pay it all back. You don't fucking know. You don't have this information. How could you possibly have that information? And so now you're putting somebody on fucking blast over something that isn't within their wheelhouse of power, or they're doing the best that they fucking can with it. And you're trying to harm them while they're doing their best in a shitty situation that may or may not have even been their fault in the first place. What are you fucking doing? Stop bringing up people's fucking personal lives that have nothing to do with whatever argumentation is going on. Oh my god, Steve's medical. What the fuck does Steve's medical have to do with Kyle stole from him? Oh my god, Todd Chrisley is gay. What the fuck does that have to do with the video of Lindsay pushing her grandma? What the fuck does any of this have to do with anything? Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. But you know what is relevant to asking questions about Katie? Here's a video of my son. Is your son okay? He seems like he's doing really well. Oh my god, why are you bringing my son into the public eye? Bitch, you're a mommy blogger. If you haven't watched my video looking at Kyle and Katie Joy's first episode of The Smoking Nun, I definitely recommend you do that. Bring drinks, have some stress relief with you, because it is pretty fucking awful. They're ripping into a woman who lost her child due to medical being very, very heavily misinformed about what is medically acceptable or not. And the way they treat this tragedy and this woman is wholly inappropriate. Wholly inappropriate. Keem didn't bring up his taxes, right? If he brings up his taxes, then it's fair to discuss. It's fair game. He brought it into the public eye. It's fair to talk about, right? If I bring up my personal life, right, or what's going on with me, I've got shit going on. Is it appropriate for you to go looking for it? Maybe, maybe not. Depends. Is it appropriate for you to release that information? Probably not. It's not really relevant to anything. But I got personal shit going on. So, if I bring it up and I tell you what it is, then yeah, it's totally fair to discuss. Makes complete sense. It would be bizarre to not discuss it in some cases. But until I bring it up, absolutely not. if Katie never talked about her son, it would be wholly inappropriate to bring up her son. Completely inappropriate. But when she thrusts her kid into the public eye, in some cases it becomes odd not to talk about her kid in certain lights and certain circumstances. Should this kid be brought up? No, I don't think so. Then she shouldn't fucking bring him up because she's the one who fucking brought it up. That's not on the people who decide to talk about the shit she fucking threw onto the internet. Any fucking random shit she decides to vomit out there is gonna be open to discussion. If you don't want something open to discussion on the internet, don't fucking post it on the internet. You absolute monkey. You have the brain of a monkey. Stop it. Please, for the love of God. I have no words for the. I know it's not that I have no words. I have too many words. I cannot with this nonsense. I can't complain if people question whether or not Puck is well taken care of, because I've posted pictures about Puck. So if somebody saw Puck and they thought, oh, hey, is this dog eating enough? That's I brought it up. I'm the one who posted the picture. Now I can say, oh no, he eats a ton. Or actually the vet told me he needs to eat less. That's a reasonable fucking explanation. Wow! Who would have fucking thought? But you're not wrong to ask the question, and it would be wholly inappropriate of me to say, why the fuck are you asking questions about the dog that I posted pictures of? Fucking wow. Fucking wow. Oh my god. Liz says she's gonna call you a racist now. It's okay, everybody calls me a racist already. I'm not really that concerned by that. Not gonna lie. I get called a lot of shit. Maybe that's why I was able to identify a little bit with Keemstar saying that, well, the left tells me I'm this, and the right tells me I'm this, and I'm not either of those things, so it's kind of annoying. And so, like, I don't know, I get called a lot of shit, and I get called a lot of shit for doing the same thing either way, so, you know. I mean, quite frankly, if you take that as a racial slur, I think maybe you're either... That's more of a question about where your head is at rather than where my head is at. Don't talk about Puck. Don't talk about Puck! Don't talk about me talking about you. Oh my god. That's one of the things, right? That's one of the things we see so often. We're gonna make this fucking slander garbage about you, but if you respond to it, well, fuck you, you're a bad person, how dare you? How dare you? In my comment section in my last video, the comment section is a fucking shit show. I definitely recommend you look at that comment section, because it's fucking hilarious. I'm here for it. I'm here for the garbage comment section. I love it. Dumpster fire comment section is best comment section. There was somebody who was bitching that I was that I was hitting low-hanging fruit. Then they said that I was equal with them, the people I was talking about. And then they said that I shouldn't be talking about this because it's low-hanging fruit. But then they complained that I wasn't going to do a follow-up. So it came to like a fucking question mark of like, so you want me to cover them, but you don't want me to cover them, but I shouldn't be covering them, but I should be covering them? And it's like, where am I? What is happening? What is going on here? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a fan of punching down, personally. I don't need to. There's a reason why I don't really tend to talk about people like Trigglypuff, like Unirock. Because I view talking about Unirock as punching down. Right? Once in a while, I'll talk about somebody that I might view as punching down because they keep making up shit about me and I think it's funny. And it's not because I really feel the need to attack them too much as a person, but it's like, okay, you're talking shit about me and you want me to look at it. Okay, well, I'm gonna take a look at it. And then I just have a romping good time. It's just fun for me. It's not like I'm not bothered. I'm not offended by this. You want me to address what you're talking about? Okay, let's address what you're talking about. But a lot of the times, like, I don't go after these people and I don't make videos about their content, particularly when it doesn't pertain to me. I'll have a giggle at it, but I don't take it seriously. And the reason I don't take it seriously, because I view talking about this shit as punching down. But Keemstar in this case is not punching down at Katie. Katie punched up at him and he's like fly swatting her to the side of like, get out of here. Get out of here. You want me to address your claim? Okay, I'll address your claim. Pa, pa, pa. But he didn't go after her. He gave her the benefit of the doubt a year ago and then turned around and was like, maybe not. And then it wasn't until this year that he was like, you're coming after me. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Deborah for 10, dancing, what is that, a lemon? Hell yeah, dancing lemons. You got the little jingle. Anyway, this is like the terms of service where she got this information from. If this was, it looks like it was People Looker Checks is the name of the place. And I haven't looked into that too much. Well, let's take a look. People Looker Checks. Let's see what this is. PeopleLooker.com. Background checks. First name, last name, search made easy. Find information you may not get on Google. No, may not. You might, but maybe not. Easy online background reports. Names, phone numbers, relatives, criminal records, addresses, email addresses, age, court records, much more. Yeah, certainly none of this could... You can see why they have the terms of service that they do. Because some of this information might be private information that, you know, they might have gotten without breaking the law, but you're not really supposed to have it. Right? You're not supposed to be fucking releasing this shit. Easy ways to find people. Search info you may not get on Google. Looking for someone? Want to know more about someone? We understand. That's why we built People Looker. The easy way to learn more about people. Okay. Read about public data, online safety, and much more. Avoid online dating scams. Best dating apps. What does sliding into DMs mean? Yeah, Katie. What does it mean when you slid into DMs that just happened to be Kyle's boyfriend at the time, Ben, and he told us that your buddy drug raped him, and you did and said nothing about that, little Miss Advocate. Did you guys miss that? I don't know if you guys missed that. If you guys hadn't seen that interview that Steve and I did with Ben, when he brings that up, he brought up a couple of bombs, a couple good cherry bombs. Like, maybe he should have been charged with arson misdemeanor type bombs of like, oh, that happened and you talked to somebody about it because somebody had slid into your DMs. Who was it that slid into your DMs? Oh, Katie Joy. My brain exploded. I think my brain exploded 3 times during that stream. I'll link it in the description down below if you want to know sort of Katie's involvement with the Non Sequitur Showcase, her other lawsuits going on, and some other absolute fucking nonsense she got on with people. And this is what Ben told. This is what Ben said. Serena makes a good point. Did anyone notice that she got the report days before Keem's announcement? Yep. It's almost like they had beef a year ago and she's been fucking looking out for an opportunity ever since. Maybe. Don't you have to pay for this? All of her subs are paying for these documents. For this, so I don't know. Do we wanna pull somebody up and see? Phone number search, people search, email search. What if I just type in Keemstar? We respect your privacy. Oh, pfft. Keemstar star. Let's see what happens. What do I get? I don't think this is gonna work. Results found. 97. Why our customers love us. So yeah, it doesn't give you all of the information. there's certainly reasons and time and places that you would find it valuable to be able to do a quick background check on somebody. That's why their website focuses on online dating. When you're online dating, that can be dangerous. You're meeting up with somebody you've never actually spoken to in real life, right? And so you don't want to get into shit, and you want to know the person you're dating. You don't want to accidentally date a serial killer, which is a thing that happens. Or if you're gonna date a serial killer, you at least want to know that there's a serial killer. You know what I'm saying? So you can run quick background checks and $1 trial, but a 30-month. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh, I didn't need to actually look up anybody. I didn't want to do Steve. Maybe, but I'm not going to do it without his consent. Steve's got enough problems. But there's certainly times and places where being able to do a quick background search on somebody is for your own safety, which is why their terms of services says things like, this is to remain confidential. You're not supposed to release this information. You're not supposed to use it to harass anybody, because it's for your own safety. It's for you. It's not for other people. It's to help protect you. You're not supposed to be using it in a shitty online feud so you can try and one-up somebody and make yourself look like an absolute dick waffle. Katie, you dumb fuck. Oh no, I called her a dumb fuck. It must be slander and defamation. Yes, please, please, that one Reddit commenter, I love you, whoever you are, for saying, yes, Katie, please go in front of a judge and explain to a judge and a jury how you are, in fact, not a dumb fuck, because I assure you, I will arrive with a bowler hat, a cane, and a pinstripe suit, and a PowerPoint presentation explaining exactly what is and is not a dumb fuck and how you may or may not apply. And we'll let the judge and the jury make a legal decision about whether or not you qualify as a dumb fuck. You stupid bitch. Ugh. Alright. I got one last thing to say. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. We'll catch you guys next time. This was fun. Watching Keemstar sort of take a bite out of this has been hilarious. I don't know how much he's gonna do or how long he's gonna keep it up for, but I certainly hope that he takes a little bit of time for himself to just look into kind of what's gone on, even if it's just for him to get a giggle out of it. I can appreciate that. He gave us some giggles. I hope he can earn some giggles in return. I'll see you guys next time.
And stop drinking, you fucking drunk. Okay, you could drink, but just don't drive, because you got that DWI, remember?